On this episode of China Uncensored, North Korea is messing around again, and China is sending over the troops. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. If you haven't heard, one of these Koreas has a crazy cult running the show. Okay, I guess it's both Koreas. But unlike South Korea, those in North Korea can't so easily oust their leader, Kim Jong Un. Not that they would, they love him. They're required to. The Kim dynasty began when Kim Il-sung seized control in 1948. And ever since, the Kim family has been seen as gods.
North Korea has no religious holidays, but make no mistake, this is a time of worship.
Last week, there was a fantastic celebration marking the 75th birth anniversary of his son, Kim Jong-il. And yeah, the celebration was ill. They have really good taste in music. And of course, nothing says celebrating your father's birth like launching a missile. Here's the current leader paying his respects. He always was the good son. Not at all like his no-good older half-brother Kim Jong Nam, the one with crazy ideas like reform and market opening. Kim Jong Nam completely ruined the celebrations last week by accidentally getting injected with poison at a Malaysian airport and then dying on his way to the hospital. I'm kidding, of course. The celebrations weren't ruined.
South Korea on Wednesday saying it suspects a pair of female agents from Pyongyang were behind the murder of Kim Jong-un's half-brother and that they used poison to kill him.
Over in China, the current leadership actually liked Kim Jong Nam, especially his ideas about Chinese-style market reform. Reforms like those could have made North Korea less crazy and also less dependent on China for aid. That may be why Kim Jong Nam was under de facto Chinese protection. Fun fact, so were his wives, plural. Kim Jong Nam apparently had 2 separate wives and families in different parts of China. Anyway, rotund North Korean leader Kim Jong-un didn't like his older half-brother Kim Jong Nam. Daddy gives little brother a country for his birthday, older brother gets jealous and says it's being run badly. Little brother sees him as a threat and has him assassinated. It's your classic sibling rivalry. So the combination of North Korea's missile test and the high-profile assassination is causing a bit of stress for China's leaders. Now, the Chinese military has sent an additional 1,000 troops to the border with North Korea, according to the Hong Kong newspaper Oriental Daily News. That's very worrisome. I didn't think you could use the term Oriental. What's that, Shelley? I can't. Anyway, China-North Korea relations aren't going well. I've mentioned before that Chinese leader Xi Jinping has been moving China away from decades of historical closeness with North Korea. And this has been a bad week for Xi Jinping. First, the missile launch. Basically, if North Korea can launch a missile into the Sea of Japan, they're just as capable of launching one at Beijing. Then there's the loss of face. China had status as the go-between, the country that still had ties with North Korea, but could also help the rest of the world put pressure on it. Well, it's clear now that the Chinese regime has pretty much no sway over the North Korean regime. And then there's something called THAAD. It's a missile defense system the U.S. wants to build in South Korea. The Chinese regime doesn't want the U.S. military so close by building a missile defense system, especially one that could also be used to track Chinese missiles. But now it's increasingly clear that China can't be relied on to rein in North Korean missile tests. So, it's all the more excuse for the U.S. and South Korea to go ahead with THAAD. And so when you're the leader of China and all this happens, you send troops to the border with North Korea. This is not a first. Last year, a South Korean news service reported that 2,000 additional troops had been sent to the border ahead of a possible 5th nuclear test, which happened. And there was no war. But just like Kim Jong-un's belly, this can't go on forever. So what do you think of the deteriorating relationship between China and North Korea? Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Be sure to share it with your friends and family, especially your older half-brother. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Chappell. See you next time.